Hi everyone, this is Kuya Josh wishing you a happy Chinese New Year. Kung Hai Fat Soy!
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.
PHLV Radio.
Hello, good evening. This is a Saturday evening in the USA or in the Pacific. It's exactly 10 p.m. And right now, as you all know, people who are watching us, I'm currently in Manila and I happen to visit my mom's home. So the background is my mom's home. So it's I'm doing live right now. And magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, those people watching us in the Pacific. Those people watching us in the Philippines, it is Sunday and it's at 2 o'clock p.m. It's a beautiful, kind of humid Sunday, but it's still a beautiful day. So magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Those people watching us across the globe or across the world, magandang umaga, magandang tanghali at magandang gabi sa inyong lahat. And I have been wonderful. I'm hoping and praying that you're having a wonderful day. Now, live na live po kami ngayon for PHLB Radio Facebook page as well as PHLB Radio YouTube channel. So if you're not subscribed yet, please do like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss any of our shows. Not only these shows, but any shows of PHLB. Also, if you have Amazon Fire TV, live na live din po kami on Amazon Fire TV PHLB channel. As well as if you have Alexa, all you have to do is say, Alexa, play PHLB Radio. Not only that, on podcasts, we're also live din po kami on different podcasts. And we are live on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and also on Spotify. And like what I said earlier, a lot of people said, how do we get hold of the old shows or the past shows? Or the guests that we missed simply because of scheduling and because of unavoidable circumstances. You could always check our website at www.phlbradio.com, or you could always, of course, watch us on YouTube channel of PHLB Radio. With that said, I need to say hello, shout out to Alexander Francisco watching from Quezon City. Cha Marcos is watching as well. Ninito Marcos as well. All the Marcoses. I don't know if they're related to BBM, but nevertheless, welcome. And then I have Jack. Jack Setter is watching also. He said, blessed Sunday. Jack is the COO of Laundry Faye as well as the Q24. And I guessed them before. And I'm going to have a part 2 hopefully in the next quarter or so. So we'll get an update on how this business had overcome the challenges of the pandemic as well as what's going on with their businesses. Now, Juliet Marcos is watching from Laguna. Hello, Juliet. So those people watching, we have a very, very good show today. We have a good letter, and it's so timely. And what I did is because before anything else, Ate Jen is still recovering from her personal sickness. So I think she would give us an update hopefully next week. But so I decided to get a co-host, and I think nakilala niyo siya before because he was a guest, a special guest of us before. But before I bring him in, let me just give you a public service announcement. Those people, and I know you guys are all waiting for this announcement. This is really a wonderful news for all the balikbayans or anybody flying into the Philippines starting February 1, which is the Chinese New Year. It has been announced. Okay, I'll repeat. Starting Tuesday, February 1st, and it's a Chinese New Year for that matter, all balikbayans or any travelers going into the Philippines or arriving to the Philippines, no more quarantine requirement. Yay! Diba? Parang they just waited for me to be quarantined, and then now they lifted the requirement now. So all you have to do is to have a PCR test. And if it says negative and you fly into the Philippines, you just present that and you're free to go. Meaning no more quarantine requirements for you to be in any designated authorized Department of Health or Board of Quarantine facility or hotel. Now you can just do your quarantine on your own, 7 days that you quarantine, but it's at the comfort of your home or your condo or your apartment. So that's our public service announcement. Now we are privileged today because right now we were able to get a very special co-host, and like what I said earlier, I know you might say, does he look so familiar? Yes, he does look familiar, except the hair. And I joke about it because when he guested to us a couple of months ago with his business partner, Montano, Jericho Montano, he was sporting a longer hair, parang hippie type. And I was joking with him because when I saw him last year in the Philippines, when I had a meeting with them, all of a sudden he's changed. So he's, I know you will say, he's a boy next door at Heartthrob, but he is. And he will be my guest co-host for today. Let me bring him in so he could introduce himself and greet everyone. Happy viewing to all. So let's go. El Cid or Cidoy Lau. Go ahead, El Cid. Take it away.
Hi, good afternoon in the Philippines and then good evening in the US. So, hi, I'm El Cid Lau, co-founder and CEO of Laundry Group, and I would like to thank you, Josh, for inviting me to this afternoon and tonight in the US. And I basically I just have an idea of what to do, but I don't know what's gonna happen next. So, okay, Josh, thank you for this wonderful opportunity, and then I hope I can get to give more insights for this one.
Well, the good thing, Doy, is thank you. It's our privilege that you said yes to be our guest co-host. So at least we have a different point of view, a different take on advice on what we could do to our letter sender. And like what I mentioned to you, everything is raw, meaning you don't know what the letter is. I'm going to read it on air, and then I will ask for your opinion, and so we could advise. And as a disclaimer, just to let everybody know, our viewers and our listeners, that anything that is being said today, the advice of Doy, my advice, my opinion, the opinion, of course, of all the viewers and the listeners, is not a reflection or reflective of the management as well as the owner of PHLB Radio. So, and at the end of the day, the letter sender, siya pa rin ang bahalang mag-decide what he or she would like to do with the concern that she wrote to us. In this event, though, I am asking also not only Doy, but si Doy, but also our viewers as well as our listeners to jump in, meaning you could text us your opinion, because this is a very timely, and I know a lot of people, it might look like it will hit home, because especially we're almost end of January, and we're getting into the February, which is the Heart Month or the Valentine Month. So I think there's so much to say. And without much further ado, let me read the letter. Ready ka na ba, Doy?
Yeah, I am.
Ito na. And it's and again, viewers and listeners, please text to us what's your opinion. If you have any opinion, because our letter sender needs advice, needs opinion on how to handle the situation or the predicament that she's in right now. Okay, I'll start. And the title for today's episode is Kapatid, pero bakit kaaway? Okay, it's in question mark. Kapatid ko, pero bakit kaaway ko? Basically. It says, Dear Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, hello po sa both of you. I'm Yoli, 55 years old, married with 2 children. My husband is semi-retired as a university professor. My grown-up children are both nurses. My younger sister, Zenny, is 53 years old, widowed, with 2 children as well. Her children are both nurses like mine and currently based abroad. Dear Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, my problem is my sister Zenny. Although I love her dearly, since we are sisters, we constantly fight about almost all things since I can remember. Hindi ko alam how it started, but as far as I can remember, we have been fighting about petty things growing up. Hindi ko talaga alam why we do this. Anyway, away-bati kami, Kuya Josh, Ate Jen. I do not want to say that she is envious of me or I am envious of her. Pero we constant bicker about things, petty things. When we were younger, we constantly compete for our parents' attention. I am our father's favorite. I am our father's favorite while she is our mother's favorite. Patas naman, di ba? Pero bakit lagi galit kami sa isa't isa? Inggit kaya ito? Hindi ko talaga alam, pero lagi kami nag-aaway. Ang mga anak naman namin at mga asawa, di naman affected sa situation namin. Kami lang talagang dalawa ang ganito. Sabi nga nila, they do not understand why we behave this way towards each other. We are sisters, and sisters should not behave this way. Like what I said, I love my sister dearly, but for some weird reasons, I cannot help fighting with her because she fights with me constantly as well. We do not get physical naman. Walang sabunutan, walang sampalan, walang tadyakan, but we constantly exchange hurtful words. Mas nakakasakit ang mga salita kasi lumalatay hindi lang sa katawan, kundi tagos puso hanggang kaluluwa. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, matatanda na kami, pero parang lalong lumala kahit malayo na ang bahay namin sa isa't isa. I always hope na okay na dapat kami, pero pag nagkasama kami kahit ilang oras lang, for sure, away ito. Away agad, giyera kumbaga. Kuya Josh, Ate Jen, what should I do to make things better? Mahal ko ang kapatid ko, pero bakit ganon? Pag nakikita ko siya at pag nakikita niya ako, parang galit kami sa isa't isa. Parang namumuhi kami sa isa't isa. Tama ba itong nararamdaman ko sa kanya? Kasi matanda na kami. Sana maayos namin kung ano man ang pinagsimulaan. Hindi ko talaga alam at hindi rin alam niya kung bakit inis kami sa isa't isa. Bakit ba ganon? Dapat ba ako magparaya dahil ako ang nakakatanda? Kami lang ba talaga ang ganito ang sitwasyon? What do you think and what should I do? Nagmamahal, Yoli. Ayan. Doy, narinig mo ba ang kwento ni Yoli sa kanyang kapatid na Zeni? Okay, so pareho talaga sila of age. Mature na, 55 and 53. Okay, they're married, one is widow, di ba? Pero, as they said, bata pa lang sila, may away na. So, anong take mo dyan? What can you tell or what you could advise, Yoli? Also, to our listeners and viewers, please do text your advice on what they should be doing. Kasi nga talagang parang kakaiba eh. Because they're sisters and they should love each other. Pero alam ko for a fact na may mga tao talagang they're better friends or mas malapit sila sa ibang tao kaysa sa kamag-anak nila. Go ahead, Doy. What's your take on that?
Actually, Kuya Josh, just to be transparent din kasi last night I was watching, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it. It's an anime. It's called Fate, Heaven's Feel. It is a trilogy movie. So it's basically about the love of course, the opposite sex, but at the same time, they are focusing on the love of a sibling. There was this, the elder sister is Tosaka, Rin Tosaka, and then the other one is Sakura Tosaka. So the good thing kasi there, I learned from that movie is that since they were young, itong elder sister, what she basically does is always like show to her younger sister na, alam mo yun, like even playing cards, when they were playing cards, the younger sister always tends to is very ecstatic, very happy na parang natatalo niya yung sister niya in terms of like, yun, sa game lang, simple game. But the sister, the elder sister even knows na kahit na lay out na yung cards na feeling niya panalo siya, the elder sister, yun, tama yung sinabi mo, nagpaparaya. Kasi nga elder sister siya, mas nakakaintindi siya. Mga parang pinakita niya na, kahit alam niyang panalo siya doon sa game na yon, papakita niya pa rin, ipapafeel pa rin niya sa sister niya na, ikaw yung nanalo. Because, there's this love the love of the elder sister by blood. And then years pass. There was this very grabbing event na nangyari sa kanila. Well, to make it short, kumbaga, the elder sister sacrificed everything, and then didn't manage to like hurt her younger sister. Kasi nga, there's still this love, the flame of love that's deep inside her that she wants not to like, instead of like having, having like complications, having like further like, trouble with the younger sister. What she wanted is to sacrifice herself for the betterment of their relationship. Parang ganun. Kumbaga, it's mostly like an understanding between two different forces. Kasi sometimes kasi if we tend to like project negativity to another negativity, of course it repels. It's under the basic law of Newton, na Isaac Newton, na yun nga, both charges repels. But if you're trying to understand, have an open communication, and further listen to what both parties tend to try to expound, I think that would be the best way na para malaman nila sa isa't isa na what's really the problem, what's causing this commotion, what is trying to affect their relationship. Kasi if they always have this constant open communication without any barriers in place, I think they could try to solve that one. I cannot say kasi as a whole the entire story is just on the side of the elder sister, but what I can see, it's a matter of like open communication. That's what I can say lang.
Yun ang take mo. Ayan, nag-text.
Yes.
Nako, parang narinig yata ni Zenny, yung younger sister. Sabi niya, paano Kuya Josh kung ang impacta yung kapatid ko panay? Parang nabigatan ni Zenny. Oh, before we continue on that, sabi ni Jack Setter, sabi niya, wow. I don't know what wow means. Si Aseret. Oy, Aseret! Long time no see! Ito, ang galing ni Aseret. Talaga si Aseret kasi is one of our avid supporter of Dear Kuya Josh and Ate Jen. Sabi ni Aseret, sabi niya, just try to reach out, invite her sister just to talk about the issues for once, to clear things up. In the end, family pa rin kayo. Maganda yung sinabi mo, Aseret, pero meron din, comment kayo kasi nagte-text naman, kasi magkapatid to eh. So I guess nalaman ni Zenny, si Zenny 53 years old, si Yoli yung nagsulat sa atin. Sabi ni Zenny, sabi niya, ako po si Zenny na tinutukoy niyo dyan sa letter ng ate ko. Paano po ko siya yung panganay ko pong kapatid na pinangalanan yung Yoli, ang impacta. Siya talaga ang promotor ng pag-away-away namin. Huwag naman akong laging sisihin dahil hindi naman siya sorry hindi naman talaga siya nagpaparaya. May pagka-inggitera talaga yung babaeng yan. Uy, wag kayo mag-away. Sorry. So, kasi yung sinabi mo kasi, di ba, I understand. Yoli, hold ka lang. I think si Zenny yung nasa kabilang nagte-text. Kasi I have two phones going on right now. One is the Globe. And anyways, that being said, ang ganda doon sabi ni Aseret na talagang it's bets, and ang ganda rin sinabi mo na talagang normally kasi in the if you analyze things in family, it's really the older person, whether sister or brother, saying umiintindi sa nakakabatang kapatid, di ba? Kasi para kaya nga mas matanda ka because you're given supposedly more mature way of thinking things, mas may experience ka, mas dapat nakakaunawa ka. Gets naman yon. Pero ito nga, nag-react nga si Yoli at Aseret, and maganda yung sinabi rin ni Aseret, communication is key. Pero ang sinasabi naman nitong si Zenny, nagre-react sa kabila akong line, paano kung si ate ang nagsisimula ng sigalot, nagsisimula na she's saying words na hindi ko pwede sabihin on air. Na kumbaga, okay, I'll just make it easier yung pwede ko sabihin. Paano kung ate ko ang impacta? That's a good question. Everybody watching and listening and including Doy, paano kung si ate nagsisimula o si kuya nagsisimula ng pinagkakasimulaan ng away nila? How do you solve that? What's your reaction to that? Kasi obviously hindi si ate nagpaparaya, the older sister, or in other family it's the older brother. what if sila yung cost? Diba? Kasi naiintindihan natin ang assumption, si batang kapatid ang papabayaan. What if sisimula si ate o si kuya? How do you position that?
For me, as much as would like to divulge, but basing on the experiences that I had, sometimes kasi there's this parang wrong stigma na na-foresee ng both sides. Yung younger sister, naiisip niya na yung elder sister pala yung may mali. Sometimes naman, yung elder sister, it's the other way around. Ganon. So, I cannot conclude talaga if the younger sister says, this one is legit, or the elder sister says na si younger sister talaga may problema, ganyan. But I think it would be better that those parties involved must try to ask first within their core family, yung nuclear family nila. They would try to ask their, like, let's say, the husband, or for sure it's a widow already, like the daughter ng younger sister, tatanungin niya, do you think what's my problem? Do you think what's really causing this? Why do you think your aunt is parang, against me, or we're really having like friction? Ganon. On the other way around din, yung elder sister din, magtatanong din siya sa mga anak niya. And then, it would be better din na, alam mo yun, not to put flame. It's not really not putting more fuel to the flame, but it's a rather of like opening up the mind and then trying to listen what's really causing the problem. Sometimes kasi, even though yung younger sister sasabihin niya na, si ate kasi yung may problema, ganyan-ganyan. But you cannot defend yourself. You cannot try to portray that you're on the good side. Parang ganun eh. Kasi it would be better if yung anak mo mismo magsasabi din, kasi ganito, may ganyan-ganyan. Kasi auntie, kasi ganito, ganyan-ganyan. I think there would be better communication on both ends and then within their core family then. Para at least it would be like, expounded well, and then to further understand what's really causing the problem. Ganun.
Alam mo, maganda yan. Kasi parang sinasabi mo, there should be a mediator. Kasi it seems like, well, in this particular case, either the sons or the daughters. Kasi maganda yung sinabi mo. And I think Yoli and Zenny, if you guys, I know you are watching, kasi nag-comment kayo sa kabilang phone ko. I think you need to have, I agree 100% kay Sidoy. Because sometimes kasi pag kayong dalawa lang, sabi mo, every time na magsama kayo, for sure away, for sure war na yan. Ang magandang sinabi ni Doy, it doesn't have to be, siguro mas maganda kung professional yan, maybe a psychologist, where you guys, or a counselor, a family counselor, that you could sit down and iron things out. Magaling sinabi niya, pero if you don't want that, kasi especially the Filipino culture, they don't want yung maraming makakaalam dahil nga baka makalat, you know how it is, where the culture is so afraid of machismo sila. And like what you said, may mga stigma nga yan ganyan eh. Like if they, di ba, during the olden days, especially our parents' days, no ang magsabing pupunta sila ng psychiatrist or psychologist, because if you go to like a psychiatrist or psychologist, ang tendency nila, baliw ka, di ba? Sira ulo mo, may perong kang kulang-kulang ka. Nowadays, especially in the States, parang it's a badge pa nga eh na, I have a psychologist or a psychiatrist na parang ina-align yung buhay mo. Kasi nga, technically, as we all know, they are there to listen. At sila yung nagiging mediator, nagiging parang a go-between. The two may be competing, quarreling parties. Sila yung nag-argue, sila yung nag-clear kasi nga they have nothing to lose, wala silang vested interest other than to understand the needs at saka yung concern ng both parties. Na okay yung sinabi mo, I like that. Teka, before we continue, si Ednel is watching from Quezon City. Emma Consul, hi Emma, I missed you. She's watching from Carson, California. Sabi ni Ednel, blessed Sunday to everyone. Yes, definitely, it's blessed Sunday to everyone. Maganda talaga rin yung sinabi ni Azaret, yung kanyang panghuling sinabi. Sabi niya, at the end of the day, pamilya kayo, your family. Yun ang gusto kong maunawaan ni Yoli. And Zenny, I understand na, kasi nagte-text siya constantly eh. Naintindihan ko na you're fused or fueled with such emotion and passion. Pero at the end of the day, tama si Azaret, pamilya. sabi nga nila, pamilya is forever. Pamilya kayo eh. Parang kahit na may masamang ugali, may ganyan ng panahon, kayo-kayo pa rin eh. Kasi ang nagdumadaloy, the blood in your bloodstream are the same. Na may mga percentage na 50% tatay nyo, 50% sa nanay mo, assuming of course the percentage is that. Pero based dito sa sinasabi mo, you just need to have an open communication. Try to understand kasi you know what saddens me is you are of that age. Hindi na matagal, di ba? Parang nowadays, especially with the pandemic we're going through, now you see them, now you don't. Parang, di ba? Yung parang nakikita natin sila today, pero tomorrow baka wala na yan. And then what will you do? Nga, laging nasa huli ang pagsisisi. Are we gonna wait for that? Is that something na you guys or you ladies are open for that? And hindi kasi sinabi talaga si Doy and our listeners and our viewers kung ano talaga yung ugat. Kasi parang sabi nga niya, pantay naman. Si Yoli sa tatay niya, meaning favorite, yung si Zenny sa nanay niya. So I really don't understand how things could be that bad. I mean, have you encountered na pamilya talaga? Parang sabi nga niya, inis na inis siya pag nakikita niya yung kapatid niya. And I guess it's both ways. So, have you encountered something like that? O sabi ni Alexander, before I continue with si Doy, sa isang pamilya talaga, minsan nagkakasamaan talaga ng loob. Pero lagi mong tandaan, kahit anong mangyari, family kayo. Kaya love, love, love lang. Alexander, baka naman kinuha mo kay Chris Aquino yan. Love, love, love ka dyan. Pero ang ganda na sinabi mo, on a more serious note, tama yung sinabi rin ni Alexander na talagang hindi naiiwasan talaga in family, kahit nga sa magkakaibigan, kahit nga sa mag-asawa, di ba? Nagkakairingan, nagkakatampuhan, nagkakaaway kayo. Pero at the end of the day, isipin mo na pamilya kayo, isang dugo, isang lahi. So, kung hindi kayo magiging close to each other, at least we try to understand each other, paano ma-require yung ibang tao na maintindihan kayo at maunawaan kung kayo pa lang from the onset hindi na kayo nagkakaunawaan. Okay, go ahead. Sid, may duktong ka ba doon yung sa sinabi na ni Azaret at saka ni Alexander?
Yeah, tama yun. Kasi in the end talaga, it's really family. Family matters the most talaga. And me and my brother, we used to like, nag-aaway even nung bata pa. Ganyan. Pero as time passed by naman, I mean, we get to, more mature. We're trying to setting aside those kind of petty things talaga, to be honest. I'm not sure it's, maybe we're both males, or kasi sa kanila, it's both females. Sometimes kasi there's really like a part of the norm wherein the behavior, because it's quite different, especially with gender. So, hindi ko masasabi din kung ano talaga yung root cause nila. But sometimes kasi, on the females and there are really some things and issues in terms of like yung the acceptance and then yung priorities, also yung parang paano sila ma-portray at makita ng mga, like example, yung mga relatives nila. There are instances kasi na pwedeng sabihin na, like let's say, yung isang relative sasabihin, uy, ang ganda-ganda mo naman, ikaw yung matanda, tapos mas mukha kang bunso, ganyan. Sometimes kasi may mga ganun eh.
Yes, true.
Di ba? Hindi maiwasan yan. Pero, majority are really not sensitive about that, especially that if they're close siblings. But there are really a percentage na sobrang, sensitive on that very petty matter. Yan. Hindi talaga maiwasan yan. I'm very sure sometimes most of the sibling rivalry kasi it's really about envy. Not really envy kasi medyo mabigat yan. It's more on the jealousy side. Ganyan. Kasi ayaw nila na nalalamangan or what. I'm not saying to the most or to their kind of relationship that they have right now, but it would really be best na tama yung sinabi nila earlier. They should have a proper communication. They should always talk. They also need to reach out to people that's na yung malapit sa isa't isa ng both parties para at least malaman nila kasi doon nila malalaman na what really is the problem. And then when you try to reach out to those people, make sure na your mind is not closed. Hindi ka yung tipong na parang nagkakaroon ka na kaagad ng parang parang tawag preemptive presumption na parang hindi kasi nasabi niya yun kasi alam ko nang mali, alam ko nang sisiraan niya talaga. No, that's a big no. You must open up your mind and then think of it something as a matter of like a lesson, para at least you need to develop more your skills kasi we cannot say we're all perfect, ganun, di ba? Yun, basta communication lang talaga for me.
Oo, no? Alam mo, parang it's so weird. Kasi, well, not weird, but like talagang, especially now, with the things that's happening around us, we have to really be big in communication. Diba? Regardless. Kasi, like what you mentioned earlier, sometimes kasi, especially our culture, the Filipino culture, ang hiling mag-assume. Diba? Diba na-coin yung word na asumera. Kasi it's always nice to just ask and don't take anything personal. Kasi dyan nagsisimula talaga ang ugat na parang you assume na ganun yung thinking, not knowing talaga bakit si Doy na kasi you live here in the Philippines and of course you're part Chinese and I mean of course 'di ba alam naman natin as a matter of fact congratulations doon po sa hindi nakakaalam he was not handpicked but he was selected to be one of the top Chinoy influencer sa ngayon sa itong henerasyon na to, so congratulations. And I think it was from Chinoy TV, and it's a big honor. Kasi with all the Chinoys running around in the country, you're singled out, one of the influencer. And I know there was an interview done on you, and I know it's just not based on looks. I think it's more on achievements and what your contribution to the country and to the society as a whole. And I think it's one of those like what we're telling people sa mga naging past shows namin na you're uplifting the Filipino flag at the same time parang talagang proud to be Pinoy or proud Pinoy. So thanks for that. But with that being said, di ba, meron bang pwedeng like bakit ba like iba pa like sa Chinoy community? Ganyan rin ba? Meron bang ganyang kasi we see it on movies, we see it on Manopo, 1, 2, 3, yung mga away-away. Sa paningin mo, kasi you have friends naman na pure Pinoy and you have good friends also na half Chinese or the Chinese. Magkakaiba ba? It's something to do ba with culture? Or it's common regardless where you're Chinoy, whether you're Chinese, pure Chinese, or whether you are Filipino? Is that distinguishedly unique sa isang kultura na nag-aaway-away yung mga kapatid?
I cannot say it's unique. It's basically part of the norm, the human norm. Kasi we are really bound to have this cognitive skills of like, understanding the culture and the tradition, the behavior, everything about, more on anthropology side yun eh. It's just that humans kasi tends to have what we call as dominance and an alpha influence. Parang ganun eh. With that being said, sometimes kasi if you are the alpha, those on the lower class tends to be more like jealous, mga ganyan. It doesn't apply to being a Chinese, being a Filipino. Kasi even in the Chinese community, there's really like that. Meron pa ring inggitan. But what I can say most is that it's really up to the bringing of your family, the core family, yung nuclear family. Like let's say example lang, my parents, I'm very thankful for them. They taught me how to be humble. They taught me how to communicate well with other people, even to my brothers and my siblings, my sister. Alam mo yun, they always say that you don't need to overshadow each other. You must always help each other. Kasi in the end naman they will leave this, this materialistic world. I mean, this world that we have right now. And then sooner or later, kami na ng tatlong maiiwan. So, lagi nilang sinasabi na lagi kayong magtulungan. You always need to reach out with each other, ganon. And then, alam mo yun, kung may mga away man, as much as possible, resolve it right away. You don't need to put too much like, hatred, ganon. Uh-huh. Especially on simple things. Kasi if you're trying to put much hatred doon, it's gonna be a burden. It's gonna be very heavy in the end, to the point na parang magkakaroon na kayo ng physical damages. I mean, physical confrontation. Hindi maganda yun. It's not healthy for a family. Kasi basing on these two siblings, they're really family. Okay lang naman sana kung sabihin natin na they're not really family by blood or what, or they're just friends. Pero family eh. Kumbaga, tama yung sinasabi mo, nananalatay sa dugo nila is that it's their blood. I mean, bloodline. Kumbaga, dapat kasi malakas yung lukso ng dugo talaga. In the end, love will prevail. Understanding will prevail. Whatever confrontations or problems may have or may arise. So, dapat meron din yung family nagsusupport.
Oo. Maganda talaga yung point na sinabi mo. Talaga yung core, no? Kasi itong yung, before we continue, hi Feli, Alfen. Feli is watching from Seattle, Washington. And of course, Alex says, shout out to Kuya LC. But kasi yun ang parang, I find it difficult to understand kasi yung root ng inggit, di ba? Parang, naintindihan ko kasi, I mean, lahat naman tayo, we always want to be the better person and we always manage to look at another person na parang, uy, sana all, di ba? Kayo, especially now that I've been here for 2 weeks or almost going to 3 weeks, parang narinig ko lata yung sana all. And at first nga, una kong dinig, Sara all, meaning Sara Duterte all. So yung pala, sana all, parang sana ako rin. Parang ganun yata expression. And correct me if I'm wrong. Parang, di ba, parang nakikita ko kasi parang, okay, you have a friend, di ba sana, you're doing, your business is flourishing, and you always want to say, uy, ang galing naman, sana ganun din yung business ko. And minsan, realistically, nararamdaman ko talaga na minsan may inggit. Kasi parang bakit siya, ganun yung business niya, bakit yung kanya, ganyan, samantala, itong isa, yung A person, nagsasabi na bakit hindi nangyayari yung business. Then, of course, sa ibang tao yun, walang blood relation, and normally, nakikita mo lang, hindi mo alam yung journey na pinagdadaanan ng tao. Baka on the facade, everything is fine and dandy. Yung pala, behind that scene na yung kanyang personal face. Kasi I believe, Elcid or Sidoy, na meron talaga tayong meron tayong public face at saka meron tayong personal face. A lot of times, nakikita lang ng tao yung panglabas yung our public face na nakikita nila. Hindi nila yung mga struggles, mga problems, at mga conflicts that's happening in the four corners of your home. Whether it's your family or your relationship or maybe your significant other, husband, wives, or boyfriend, girlfriend. Pero pagdating sa labas, all smiles ka na. Sabi ko nga, parang show business eh. Pero I like what you said, at the end of the day, core pa rin yan. Diba? Kasi like silang dalawa, Yoli and Feli, you guys, Yoli and Zenny, you guys are from one blood. I mean, 2 bloods o parang isang nanay, isang tatay lang yan. You're not naman adopted. Siguro kung inggit man yan, sabi mo nga nung sa letter mo, hindi mo alam kung nainggit ka sa kanya or nainggit siya sa'yo. At the end of the day, you really have to sit down and iron things, your differences. Why? Because ang tanda nyo na. Tapos kita mo yung mga anak nyo, parang dead man na sila sa inyo. Kasi parang away nyo yan eh. Nga gusto ko rin sinabi ni Sidoy, na dapat siguro yung mga bata, o not so much yung mga asawa, kasi minsan kampihan din yung mga asawa eh, based on experience. Do dapat yung mga anak nyo, kasi offspring na yan eh, kumbaga ugat na yan. So I think yung magpipinsa na mag-usap-usap, paano bang gagawin natin? Si mama, 55. Nanay namin, 53. Ano ba yung common ground? Kasi di ba sabi nga nila, okay na kita sila, magkalayo na yung bahay nila. Pero pag nagkaano sila, merong mag-exchange ng word. Siguro I feel that minsan din kailangan we choose our words also, di ba? Minsan nga sabi nila, mas nakakasakit yung suntok, sipa, tadya, kasi physical yun eh. Pero yung salita, mas tumatagos yun. Nga sabi ni Yodi kanina, yung exchange of words sila is more hurtful than the physical. Kasi hindi pa sila nagsabunutan eh. Wala pa namang, hindi pa dumarating doon. It's just like, and sometimes kasi, di ba, si Doy, minsan ang personality ng tao, I could be joking with you, pero sa'yo, hindi pala joke yun.
Yes,
You might be sensitive to my joke, So, posible ba yung gano'n na kahit sa magkapatid? Kasi alam ko sa magkakaibigan, common yun eh. Kasi iba-iba yan ng genes, iba-iba ng lahi, iba-iba ng dugong nananalaytay sa kanilang bloodstream. Pero sa kaibigan, ba experience that na meron kang, you were joking, and then all of a sudden it was taken in a different light, and then all of a sudden, away na bigla. Not necessarily physical, but more of, emotional and exchange of words. Did it ever happen to you?
Yeah, actually, sometimes kasi, there are instances na akala mo you're really close already. I mean, alam mo yun, kumbaga parang kampante kayo sa isa't isa. But the problem is kasi you don't know that the person that you're talking to, even though you feel like comfortable, o yun nga, parang nag-assume ka na comfortable ka, sometimes kasi they have a very low, how do you call this one, tolerance on sensitivity. Ganun. So the good thing about me naman is that I make sure na to weigh in things first, using words na that will be not as destructive. Kasi sometimes, at most of the time kasi, mas totoo yung sinasabi niyo kanina, Josh, na words are more hurtful than physical things to be done. Kasi yung physical kasi lang yan, it heals. Pero yung words that pierces through your mind and your heart and your soul, it's really hard to heal it eh. Ganon. So on my end naman, I experienced that na meron talaga akong may na-joke ako, pero unintentionally. Pero yung pala, nalaman ko na lang na it was hurtful on his or her part na when I knew about that, of course, yun nga, that's where yung pagiging maunawain comes in. You talk to that person and then explain and then apologize. Then let her or him feel na, alam mo yun, you're really sincere about the things that you said na hindi yun talagang intention mo. Kasi, yun nga, kumbaga nag-communicate ka ulit eh. Sometimes kasi, nakakat na kagad doon na galit na siya sa'yo, not knowing na yun pala yung dahilan ng miscommunication niyo. So, at the end, always try to reach out when you feel that it is necessary talaga. And if you want to save the relationship, not just being as friends, but also being as, especially yung case ni Zenny and
Zenny and Yoli.
Zenny and Yoli na being as siblings talaga. Yun. So, mas maganda mag-reach out.
Kaya nga, it kind of sad, no? Di ba? Kasi magkapatid talaga sila eh. So, naiintindihan ko kung magkaibigan lang. Although, that's why I always tell people, before you do anything, before you say anything, think before you speak. Lalo na with it's a common jargon now in the world, especially with technology. Think before you click, di ba? Kasi pag-isipan mo, you need to make sure that you read muna bago mo i-click. Kasi once pumunta na yan at napadala mo na sa kaibigan mo, hindi mo na mabawi, wala naman siyang recall eh. Kasi nasabi mo na. And of course, ang media kasi ngayon, ang internet ngayon or yung mga platform ngayon, wala siyang emotion eh. 'Di ba? It could be interpreted, kunyari, yung word na sira ulo mo. 'Di ba? Pag naglolo kayo, pare sira ulo mo. It's a joke. Pero pag tinext mo yun, walang emotion yun. Pag sabi mo, uy, sira ka, ang dating, you're crazy. Diba? Parang pag medyo sensitive ka, iba yung dating, lalo na pag type word or written word. Pero unlike pag yung may expression, diba? The word sira ka, I could say to you, uy, si Doy, sira ka. Okay, uy, ang sira mo, iba, diba? Pero kung sabi, pucha, sira ka. O, iba, diba? Depending on intonation. Which, in the text world, on the message world, the messenger world, wala yung emotion. The only time na magkaka-emotion niya kapag nilagay ka ng emoji or LOL, about lang, baha, diba? Doon na, ay, nagjo-joke pala siya. Pero minsan, diba, may mga tao na just text lang, ganun-ganon. Now, going back to Yoli at saka kay Zenny, alam mo, tama, ang dami. Si Azaret was right, of course, si Doy is very right, si Alexander is right. Talagang family talaga eh. Ako, I believe that as much na talagang merong mga di pagkakaunawaan, mga inggit-inggit, galit-galit, pero pag nagkapatawaran, I think it's one whole family kasi isa lang yung isa lang yung talagang commonality nyo. But I also know there's some family that I know per se and for sure and personally na talagang they don't see eye to eye anymore. Talagang kumbaga, yun ang hindi ko rin maintindihan to this day. And I'm finding words and I'm finding ways and I'm trying to read some books on psychiatry and psychology kung paano yung ibang mga tao, and I have people that I know for a fact, they cannot stand each other. Either yung magkapatid o magkapatid na babae, magkapatid na lalaki, magpipinsan, they don't see anymore. They hate each other's gut. Parang sinusukan nila isa't isa. I still don't have the answer for that. And ang fear ko lang talaga, when everything is said and done, and if you feel that way, siguro the distance, sabi nga nila, di ba, the absence makes the heart go fonder. So maybe that might be another solution. Kasi sabi nga minsan pag magkalayo kayo at hindi kayo nakikita, you kind of miss each other. But then again, there's always the other side. When you don't see each other, you tend to forget. So, Yoli, hindi ko alam how to constructively tell you. That's why I requested for other people's help. All I know is, one, you pray. Prayer kasi, I'm big on prayer. You pray for guidance, you pray for discernment. And I like what Sidoy said, as much na kung meron kayong mga issues, you're the older person kay Zenny. Siguro naman hindi naman sobrang sama ng ugali ni Zenny for you to harbor such feelings towards her. Si Zenny naman, don't taunt na your sister. Parang kung like yung mga tinetext mo sa akin ngayon, I cannot even read it on air because at the end of the day, medyo hurtful. Kahit nga ako, I'm a third party to this. I'm just reading your comment. It's not very nice. So siguro pag narinig to ng ate mo, baka lalong sumabog on air ating mga diskusyon. Now, yung sinabi naman ni Alexander na love lagi o love ng talaga kasi sabi niya all you need is love. Totoo daw, and that's a say. Tapos gusto ko rin sinabi ni Azaret na you just need to sit down and talk and iron out the issues because lahat naman napapag-usapan eh. Lahat naman there's a point and a midpoint where both of you could come to understanding. And in my opinion, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to argue. It's okay. Pero at the end of the day, dapat nagpapasensyahan, nagpapatawaran, nagpo-forgive. Because doon lang talaga magsisimula. I don't adhere na kahit magkaibigan kayo, dapat mas iba. With all the pandemic, guys, hindi pa ba niyo nararamdaman na ito na yung wake-up call to everybody? Diba? Wake-up call na we need to do something about our relationship. We need to do the way we do things, the way that matters to us, the way that we look at things. If we're very material in the past, ako kasi ang experience ko ngayon, we need to make sure that what we do has something to do to make the world a little better. Hindi ko sinasabing tayo yung cure all or it will all of a sudden become world peace. That's not gonna be happening with one person, but we could start from within. You could start from your own effort from all of us. Yon ang aking in a capsule. Now, additional comment from you, Sidoy.
Mm-hmm. For me, ano lang talaga, we need to also have, other than the open communication, it's also respect.
I like that.
Respect. Diba? Respect both each other, and then, kasi magkapatid na sila, diba, matagal na. And then, of course, they both know kung ano yung sa isa't isa nila, kung sino yung, alam mo yun, parang, is this just a joke? Is this just something na parang, kumbaga parang sanayan na ng ugali. Ganon. Kasi if you see naman na ganon talaga siya, just let it pass. Don't make grudges on it. Don't absorb the negativity. And then on simple things man, like let's say nagkaroon lang ng iringan na on petty things, just always learn to how to respect each other. Because in the end naman, pag magkakaroon ng problema, sino bang tatawagin mo? Diba? It's still your sibling. Yun lang naman eh. I mean, just other than the open communication, the respect, also always put a lot of love to it. Kasi without love, there would be destruction talaga of the relationship that they have. Yun, that's my ano.
Ang ganda, ang ganda. Totoo yan. Yung mga points talaga, if you, Yoli, and before we continue, Carmen Santos Ong is watching, as well as Christian Renen Esteban. Hi, Christian. How are you? I know Christian is watching from Los Angeles, and I think he's always watching us, as well as Carmen Santos Ong. Hello to everybody. Happy viewing. Yes. So yung problema nila. Firstly, Yoli, maraming salamat for trusting the station and the show to kind of tell us and share with us your predicament or your situation. We appreciate the fact that yung aming munting show ang pinagkatiwalaan mo to give you an insight, and also hopefully yung ating mga exchange of ideas na from Aseret, from Alexander, and of course from Sidoy is kind of enlightening you or giving you some enlightenment and realization on what family is about. Yung, I know, sabi nga, kahit na walang franchise yung ABS-CBN, meron pa ring pamilya. Sabi nila yon. So because family is love, family is forever. At hindi naman nakukuha ng franchise yun. So, ang ganda ng mga sinabi na touch today. One is communication. And I like yung dinuktong ni Sidoy. Sidoy, dapat laging nag-guest ka rito. Ang daming mga tidbits of info, as well as mga ideas, as well as mga words of wisdom, kumbaga. Na sabi nga, yun yung mga, like I was not even thinking of respect. Tama, you need to be respectful. You need to be able to respect each other's opinion, each other's yung take off niyo, standpoint, pananaw, opinion, at saka yung kung saan kayo nagsisimula, and the respect can be born out of love. Kasi kung mahal mo sa isa, may respeto. Hindi ko masyadong naisip kanina yun, pero that was a good tidbit of wisdom on your end. Sabi ni Alexander, kasi sa magkakapatid, kahit magkadugo kayo, magkakaiba talaga kayo ng personalities. Kaya dapat intindihin mo na lang. So, tama naman. Oo nga, no? Come to think of it, sabi nga nila, we have our yung fingers, 5 fingers, and all of them are different. Different sizes, different, yun na natutunan ko. And correct me if I'm wrong, bawat fingerprints ng bawat isang finger mo makakaiba. There's no 2 fingerprints alike.
That's right.
So yun, tidbits of information ko rin sa iyo, trivia. Yung pag tingnan mo yung daliri mo, you have 10 fingers, lahat po yan, ang fingerprints yan, magkakaiba. Hindi sila magkakapareho. And it's so unique to other, like Sidoy, myself, my mom, Ate Nitz, and everybody else, magkakaiba yung fingerprints natin. That's why pag use sa mga important papers, mga bonding, mga bonds, when you go to immigration, when you go to get your passport, when they ask for your fingerprints, kasi po yun, doon nila nalalaman yung identification mo. Okay? Sabi pa ni, ito, hindi nag-tinext lang sa akin. Tama naman talaga, basahin ko, tama naman talaga ang sinabi ng lahat ng nag-comment, including si Sidoy or si Mr. Sid, simply because family is love, respect begets respect, communicate if you can, and if not, give yourself some space. It is crucial in this day and age that we see things through others people's opinion, through others people's eyes, through others people's sentiments, because discussion is important and communication is key to a better understanding, to a better world. Galing naman! Salamat CM Medi for saying that. Sana nilagay mo sa wall para mas naintindihan ng mga tao mo sa akin. Pero I'll share ko pa rin. But maraming salamat for that. That being said, Sidoy, any updates? Yoli, unang-una, maraming salamat for giving us for trusting us. Teka, duktong muna natin bago tayo, we're almost close to the end. Sabi ni Feli, be kind to each other. Is very important too, kuya. No matter what happens, family is very important. Absolutely, tamang-tama ka. You hit it in the eye. Tamang-tama, family is important. Pamilya is important. Maganda yun, dapat idagdag ko pala sa Kapamilya Network yun. Not only Families Love, I think 2 years ago, sabi lang Families Love. Tapos last year, it's Families Forever. Ito, family is important. That's a good jargon. Okay, Dolly, maraming salamat for that. Zenny, I know you're medyo nag-calm down ka na. Text me kung ano yung mga nyo. Kung nandito kayo sa Philippines, which I know you are, and I know you know where to find me, text me. We could all meet. I could be your mediator. You never know. Baka after the meeting that you have, you're gonna be the best of friends, which you should have been to begin with, because there's only 2 sisters at kayo yun. Wala namang iba. Kayo pa rin. Pagdating ng panahon, pagdating ng sa huling sandali, kayo pa rin at wala nang iba. Yung kids nyo, yung asawa nyo, that's an extension of your family, but yung pinaka-basic core, kayong dalawa yon. Okay, si Doy, last word.
I'll get that line from the Cinderella movie. Yung sabi ng mom niya kay Cinderella, have courage and be kind. Yun.
Ay, ganda yan. Alam ko yan. Oo, kasi, ano yan. I forgot her name, yung maganda. Tapos, yung kay ano yan eh. It's not that was Drew Barrymore's movie, right? No.
Hindi. Cinderella na yung bago.
Diba? Be courageous and be kind.
Yes.
At sinabi niya doon sa parang wealth portion eh. Ganda! I like that. Be courageous and be kind. I like that. I like that very much. Okay, now, any updates on what's going on with your wonderful companies, the group of companies na, before we end?
Yeah.
Okay, share mo sa akin.
Thank you for that. Sorry. Thank you for that, Josh. It's doing great. We're trying to rebound from the pandemic, and hopefully by this February, everything's going to be going back to normal, and then more businesses will come right after. As of now, we're trying to expand our focus on the Cube Smart Lockers. So it's actually the Philippines' first Cube Smart Locker system. We've been here already in the Philippines for more than a year. And we've already partnered with the big names in the companies such as Real Estate Properties, theme parks, and even construction companies. So hopefully we're going to be expanding to more locations, not just in Manila, but also in Cebu and Davao. And we're targeting 1,000 lockers hopefully this year. So expect those smart lockers on condominiums and malls and corporate buildings. And yun. And we're open also for franchising. Soon we're going to be releasing our franchise structure so that you're going to be having a passive income for owning a Cube Smart Locker system. Yun.
Yeah, it's first in the Philippines, right?
That's right.
But those people who are really interested to know more about the business in depth, you go back to the guesting that Elcid Lau as well as Jericho Montano did for Alam Mo Ba with Josh Handowit. All you have to do is Google it and you'll see the whole, I think, almost 2 hours interview, everything that you might have any question. Kaya nga, what we're gonna do maybe second or third quarter of this year, 2022, we'll bring them back. So to give us an update, parang part 2 of that. And also, ang dami po ngayong naka-line up sa atin na mag-guest kasi now that I'm here, and there's some surprises too that will be guesting. And of course, some co-hosts until Ate Jen, my partner, will be up and about to give the other insight of that. So yung mga nagsasabi po sa akin, how do you invite co-hosts? Madali lang po yun. Hindi po pinipili. Basta yung iba po inimbitahan ko kasi especially when I found out that Ate Jen is still out. So I would normally call you and request you if hindi kayo camera shy because you're gonna be seen globally. And ang maganda po kasi what we have talked about, it is better to have several opinions, several take on the subject matter, because sometimes when you have different options, you could make a better qualified decisions and a rational decision, which might be sometimes because we are in that situation, in that particular dilemma and situation, it's really hard to think of other alternative to what you think is right. And sometimes sabi nga nila, it is always nice to talk to a stranger because the stranger will not judge you and the stranger will give you objective advice. But like what I always remind you as well, all the letters that you send us might not be able to put every other things that's happening among yourselves. So it is important that at the end of the day, what we have given you, what Elcid, what Alexander, what Feli, what Aseret had said, are all our opinions, our take based on what you have submitted to us and what we read on air. At the end of the day, that's your life to live. Kayo pa rin ang decide for yourself what's the best route you have to take. All we do is what we think is best for you, because that's really what this radio show is about, is to inspire and to enlighten you if we could, and also to share our own personal experiences, what's happening not only in our surroundings, in our family, in our relationship, but also in the community that we're part of. Okay, anything else, Elcid, before we close? O sabi ni Alexander, thank you Kuya Josh and Kuya Elcid. Ang dami naming natutunan. Maraming salamat, Alexander, for saying that, because like what I've been saying to all of you, hindi lang po kami ni Ate Jen and other guests ang natututo. Natututo din po kami. At alam ko marami pong na-enlighten sa mga napapag-usapan, natatalakay, mga topics that we're talking. Kasi kanya-kanya tayong experience, kanya tayong exposure. And sabi nga nila, communicating is the beginning of understanding. And when we talk, we understand. And when we understand, then we create a better country, a better society, a better people, and a better community. And any last words, Elcid? Mag-goodbye na tayo. Malapit na tayo mag-goodbye kasi almost time. And I know it is Sunday and it's family day, and I'm taking so much of your time. And those people watching us in other parts of the country, it's Saturday on your end. And I know you have one more day, and it's a wonderful weekend for everybody. And I know it's Chinese New Year. Ano nga ba yan? Kung Han Fat Soy?
Kung si Fat Choy, Kung Hei Fat Choy.
Si Chinoy si ano. So it's on Tuesday. So maraming salamat po. Elcid, any last word before I close my show?
Yeah, I would like to thank Kuya Josh for inviting me and for asking me for insights about this one. It's really timely then at the same time. And also like to invite everyone to follow our official Facebook Laundry. Just type in Laundry in Google. That's LAUNDRAFE, and then you get to see all the companies I have established. And then hopefully you're gonna visit our shops, and then yun. Kuya Josh has been there na, and he was really amazed by the ambience. So it's actually the first full upscale full laundry cafe system here in the country. And ayan, also please watch every weekends on Saturdays and Sundays yung mga time slots na programs ni Kuya Josh. It's really very wonderful. You get to learn more about that. And that's it. Thank you again.
Sabi ni Feli, Alfian, thank you Kuya and Elcid. Have a blessed Sunday. Have a blessed Sunday to everybody. O ito, pakingitiin kita. Sabi ng isang personal text sa akin, ang gwapo naman ni Kuya Elcid. Available po ba siya? Sabi ko, tatanong ko, available ka ba, Elcid? On air, put you on spot. Ang gwapo mo na.
I'm not available anymore.
Yummy!
Not available na.
Sandwich? Ano ba kayo? Bagay daw ang kanyang buhok. He looks better. He looks yummy. He's gorgeous. Lagi ba siya ang co-host? Hindi po, guest co-host lang yan. Parang ako na gusto niyong tanggalin. So sabi niya, available ka raw ba? O yan, put you on air. Available o ano muna, no comment?
Wag yung no comment kasi show is masyado. I'll straight to the point. I'm not available naman. I'm inspired.
Inspired. Oh, bagong word yan. Inspired. Okay. With that word inspired, and he looks very happy because I think, and I know the business is doing well, and it could even do further, and they could fly and soar higher than what they could ever imagine. And with that said, I'm going to close the show. And like every time I close the show, I always advise people and I always tell people, be kind. You can never go wrong with kindness. And any act of kindness that you do to anyone, it's a guarantee it will come back to you. With that said, Elcid, maraming salamat, and I know I'll see you soon. And to everybody who contributed, who watched us today, Feli, Alfian, Alexander, Aseret, and Christian, and everybody watching, Carmi Ong, sino pa ba? Edna, Emma, and some other people. Si ano pa? Meron pa nagbabol. Hello po, Sir Josh and Sir Sid, watching here at Laundry. Sino to? Enas Amsedal. Sino to? Parang namit ko yata siya.
Ate Weng.
Ate Weng ko ba to? Grabe ang pangalan. Ibang level Anyways, maraming salamat for watching. You guys have a wonderful weekend. If you're watching us from the Philippines, have a wonderful weekend, whatever is left of it, and have a wonderful next weekend, next week at the same time. Have a wonderful week and be careful, be safe, and practice safety protocol. And those people, I know Tuesday is a holiday for the Filipinos because of the Chinese New Year. So Happy New Year for the Chinese, and eat a lot of tikoy. Yan daw importante para magkadikit-dikit ang ating mga relasyon. Mas malagkit, mas madikit. That's much better because ano ba ngayon? Tiger, no? Tiger, the year of the tiger. So talagang tigre. Hopefully, and I'm praying for everybody that 2022 would be a much better year compared to the past 2 years, and not only for our health, our businesses, our jobs, our relationship. And with that said, maraming salamat people watching us across the globe and will be watching us on replay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for always supporting not only PHLB Radio, not only my shows, and for other shows of PHLB. Please do subscribe, and to all our Facebook channel pages and also YouTube channel, as well as all the podcasts that we're going live. Maraming salamat. Happy viewing to everybody. Thank you and good night, good morning, good day. Maraming salamat. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Go see Pachat.
Just like a friend from back home.
This is your Filipino radio experience in Las Vegas. PHLV Radio.